You have military, right?
Yeah, I served in the U.S. Marines.
Yeah. So just remember your training.
Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering Finnish Brutality 2021, the continuation war, Stage 4, the Fog of War. And Fog of War is kind of a good title for this one. It was very overcast and drizzly, kind of foggy conditions, and this was a blind stage, in and of the fact you didn't get to pre-walk it before you shot it. You had to pay attention during the stage brief. Now, they did give you a drawing of how the bays were laid out, and they told you that in each of the bays there were a lot of no-shoots, and that there were so many poppers and so many hanging steel targets per bay you had to get. And it was slightly different in each of the three bays, so you really had to be paying attention. Also, the targets were placed in such a way that you just weren't going to run in and see them. It was littered with barriers and no-shoots in the shooting area, so you really had to hunt around and find it, and there was no place you were going to pick the magic sweet spot and see everything. So what you did is you went to the start box, and they had a big old heavy sandbag there. On the go signal, you picked up the sandbag, and you could carry it any way you wanted, and you ran around the corner of the building, plopped it in a very designated place in the first shooting bay, and then you had a big outlined shooting box of which you can engage targets in, and then you just moved around the box as necessary to get your hits, and then repeat in the second and the third bays until you were done.
Okay, any questions?
Ready!
Okay, shooter ready.
Ready!
Stand by. Okay, you're finished.
Clear.
Very well. Unload, show clear. Weapon clear, hammer down, holster. Range is clear. 11965. Oikein. 11965.
Okay, this was an exciting stage because it was definitely a change up. The previous three stages had been rifle only, and this one was pistol only. And for me, it actually turned out to be a pretty good stage. I didn't run it the fastest, but I ran it clean, and a lot of people racked up a lot of penalties on this one, and that hurt them pretty hard in the scoring. So at the go signal, I grabbed the sandbag, and the muddy ground was a challenge. I was really worried about slipping, so while it may look like I'm taking a leisurely stroll, and probably was compared to other people who had blazing fast times, I was going about as fast as I felt I safely could without tripping up and falling, because just there's no way you're going to recover from that if you take that time hit. As you see, my first shots where I missed a lot, like 5 rounds to be exact. That comes down to training. Practice more with gloves, boys and girls. I had done some practicing, but not enough. But once I readjusted my grip, the hits started to come pretty regularly. And you had to do the visual scanning because, like I said, you had big advertising up there. You know, you had life-size pictures of Yari staring right back at you with a rifle. And a lot of no-shoots out there on each bay, and you just had to work your way through it, find them, get the hits. The poppers needed to fall, and the static steel just had to be rung with 2 shots. And you had to do that in each bay. In the third bay, the targets were pretty strategically placed that in the scanning, after you hit the first one, you didn't see anything until you took a knee, which I thought was great thinking on stage design. And that's why you see me going to my knees pretty quickly and ending the stage that way. And the first day ended with those 4 stages. And wow, what an exhausting day. Started out the day by shooting from armored vehicles, jumping out of armored vehicles, engaging spinners, running to barrels, jumping in freezing ice-cold water, crawling under barbed wire, flying through bunkers, shooting from the top of armored vehicles again, and then running carrying heavy sandbags. And you're like, wow, how are they going to top that? Don't worry, they did. Tune in tomorrow for Stage 5.